All right, we're here for another Real Marketing Talk with Intentionally. Today I've got Amanda Larson, who's another account director here at Intentionally. Amanda, we're going to talk about webinars because I know you and I probably do, I don't know, collectively, we've probably done like 100 webinars for our clients in the last 3 years.
Yes, lots of webinars.
Yeah. And I do think, I know we were just talking about this, but I think webinars are coming back. Like they were really overdone, I think, for a period of time post-COVID, but
Yeah.
I think there's an appetite for them now. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's still a great lead driver for people. I think people did get burnt out during COVID, but they're coming back for sure.
Yeah. I think if we're trying to like recreate the secret sauce of the best webinars that we've had in the last couple of months, let's rattle off some of the things that make them really good. Like I know that like sometimes we like to over prepare for webinars and give ourselves like 6 weeks to promote them, but I've seen the same amount of success in terms of registration with like a three week runway rather than a 6 week runway. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, like 4 weeks, it would be great, but that doesn't always happen. And I think it all comes down to like, what are you talking about? Like, is it a real enticing concept? What are people going to learn? Is it something that's trending? And also, like, who are your speakers? Who's going to be there? That can hold a lot of weight as well.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of the same sort of usual contributors to webinars, sometimes like the same faces on many. And I do think that's a good point because sometimes it's like the head of product in some circles has a stronger weight. Maybe they're a visionary, or maybe they're talking about what's coming down the pike from a tech standpoint. And so that makes sense for that audience, which might be like internal, head of technology or operations for a firm. But if you're trying to reach somebody who's like an advisor, that hearing like what's coming down the pike from a features and benefits standpoint is so much less meaningful to them. And so having like a thought leader from a different sort of financial planning circle or something would resonate better, right? I mean, I don't know what you've seen lately with some of yours.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like, even inviting like outside voices that you might not think would be like typical to like expect to come to a webinar, kind of throw people for a loop, like make it exciting, bring a different perspective to the conversation. I think, can draw a crowd too.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, it reminds me of there's like so BFI has been having like a moment. I would say BFI and like estate planning, those have been really strong. And then AI has been a good theme that I've seen a lot of turnout for lately.
Yeah.
And like someone had mentioned this to me. This wasn't my original idea, but like organizational development, like creative thinking processes and stuff like that. Like having those people come into the conversation and throw a curveball, and it's not financial planning, it's not like psychology or anything, but it's like some other layer of these skills and thought processes that make a financial planner better at their job in some way.
Yeah.
I think that would be another direction for people to go.
Yeah.
Additionally, I know we were talking about like, so webinars, sometimes they end up being like, especially for tech tools, like a pitch or like a demo, just, but it's disguised, right? It's like, show up to this thought leadership webinar where we're going to teach you XYZ, but then you get there and it's like a play-by-play screen share.
Mm. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. I know you have had really good engagement results. So what are some of the tricks that people could learn from, sort of like take the lead from Amanda on how to keep the crowd engaged throughout?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is definitely a time and a place for the demo. And it doesn't need to be like a full demo either. It can just sort of be a teaser because ultimately you're going to have those follow-up nurtures in place for after the event so that, you can do those more in-depth demos afterwards. But I definitely think like that live engagement, getting people excited, getting them involved in the conversation, because a lot of times they're sitting behind a screen and they're muted, but they might have something to contribute or something to say. So opening up the chat and the Q&A and making it like a warm, welcoming place, ask them where they're tuning in from, like encourage them to get involved. I think that just creates like a more engaging environment, and a lot
Mhm.
more fun.
I agree. I agree. And I also think like just the way you kick off a webinar is it's sort of like, how is this going to go? Am I going to start to like zone out and have it in the background? Or is this going to be something that I can't multitask because I'm so drawn in, not
Yeah,
just to the speaker, but to like what they're bringing to the conversation where I feel like, again, like, yeah, addressing what's in the chat or asking poll questions, using the tools. I mean, they all have them now, right?
yeah.
Like, go to Zoom. I don't even know what other platforms people are using. Have you used any other ones lately?
No, I would say those are probably the
Yeah.
biggest. Yeah.
But they have so much to offer. And so like don't forget those parts, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those are crucial for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about social media and brand presence, Amanda. I know you've done this so successfully for some of your clients. What makes for an incredible online social presence?
Mm. There's so much. I think at the end of the day, though, it's important to remember that people follow people. Um, that's not to say that your company page, your brand page isn't important, but it's to say that your leadership team also needs to get on board and support it and engage, um, and just be human, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy to me the amount of overthinking that goes into this. And I know like I get it because it's you, it's your words, and like you're connected to a company, but also it's that human side where I don't think people are going to engage if you continue to like repost what the company page has and add a one sentence comment of like this is so great or so proud of this opportunity. I think those things have a place, but that's lacking that human substance. Do you agree? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what that secret sauce. What have you seen work really well there?
Yeah, I mean, put your own spin on it. People want to hear your voice. They follow you for a reason. So, interject, and it's definitely a two-way conversation. It's not a place to go to just be posting, but also take the time to like go through your feed and comment on other people's posts and like other people's posts, even if you're not connected with them. Maybe it's a mutual connection. That's a great way to just grow your network and meet other people who could partner with in the future.
Yeah, and you think also like for the algorithms to kind of like and support and continue to push you in front of the right people, like staying on platform, I know has been something we've talked about too. Um, what have you seen some of your clients do successfully there?
The battle of the algorithms. I feel like we're always fighting them, trying to figure out how they work. I think like in the sense of like a LinkedIn, they want to keep users on their platforms, but really that's any platform. Like they don't want people leaving their platform. So think about that when you make your posts and you're just like pitching and sending people to your website or your contact page or to your booking page. Like, LinkedIn doesn't love those things. They want people to stay on their platform. So share your thought leadership in the post natively and make sure people can get everything they can get out of their post without having to jump off of LinkedIn. And that might mean using things like setting up articles on LinkedIn instead of jumping people back to your blog, or setting up newsletters on LinkedIn. So, there's lots of tools natively within LinkedIn that you can use to keep people there, and that's going to please the algorithm.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that there's tools. Maybe we should do another chat sometime that kind of shows people like I know it feels like it could be really manual to be like DM me if you want, whatever, and then having to go back and monitor all of that. But there are really cool resources that people can tap into that are not that expensive that can do some of the admin side of that. So
Yeah.
it's been awesome having you on. I'm glad that we shared this with everybody, and we'll see you guys again.